Hello there, people. I changed from the red cape to the hat. This is so much better because let me tell you what, off camera, you should have seen me busting my ass with that red cape. And I was thinking about chopping it, but no, fuck it. Just wearing this hat. I still have my costume, and it's got red in it, so I'm just probably gonna put red glitter and shit. But anyways, Dick Tales of Tarot. This is all about the full moon in Aries today. And by the way, happy Monday. I know Monday sucks, but it is what it is. And if you're having a shitty day, I promise you, it's only temporary. We'll get through this. Um, yeah, this Aries full moon here is actually considered a super moon. And this is the one and only time that Aries is gonna be the full moon. So regardless if you have Aries in your chart or not, just pay attention to the message here, which it's a damn good message. Okay. If it's a little long, sorry, I'll try to make it quick. And if you do have Aries somewhere in your chart, pay extra attention to it. Okay. Me, I'm not an Aries and I don't have Aries in any part of my chart, but I still pay attention to it because there's valuable shit in here. So I know my DM has Aries in one part of his planet. But anyways, y'all, and if you guys have more than one place of Aries in your chart, y'all must be some fiery sons of bitch. Oh, I'm gonna turn this way. Okay, go send it with a shit. 222 on the timer. Okay, don't touch anything. Oh, I'm gonna have to. There we go. I'm so happy that it's still October, man. Love it. Halloween is my favorite holiday, yo. Alright, so this is called the Hunter's Moon, or some people call it the Harvest Moon. And that's because, I mean, this moon is very close to Earth and it's gonna look very red and orange in the sky. So if you all want to go outside tonight and take pictures, cool. And it's, like I said, very powerful and illuminating. So here we go. According to this professional astrologist named Valerie Tejeda, this year, so this is the one and only time Aries is going to be during the eclipse season. So, like I said, if you have Aries anywhere in your birth chart, then you better enjoy it. Oh well, this is your time. Where the fuck? I'm sorry. This particular full moon is very special. Ding. Because it means that it's supposed to bring a lot more clarity into our lives. As most of you know, full moons are all about letting go of crap from the past. You know, like emotional clutter, overcommitments, and toxic behaviors. You know, shit like that. But if you haven't by now, then this full moon is gonna force you to do it. And unfortunately, this even includes people that are not for your highest good. What sucks is, guys, when it comes to people, especially friendships, wow, 511 on the timer. When it comes to friends these days, some people are meant to be in our life for a few months or for a few years, and that's it because maybe you outgrow each other or somebody becomes toxic and you are going down a different path. And then there's those times where you meet people that are always honest with you. They're there for you until for everything. They've always got your back for everything. They don't lie. They're always there. 555 on the timer, which means huge change. And that's Aries full moon, huge change. Well, anyways, some people unfortunately just aren't meant to be there forever. But for the ones who are, it's awesome, but it's also rare. So, and it's rare in this generation too, which sucks. I think people, like the baby boomers, I think that generation, they were more honest and loyal to each other than we are today. That's sad. But that's just my opinion. Okay. And let me tell you, if you don't get rid of toxic shit, whether, like I said, it's the emotional clutter, overcommitments, and toxic behaviors, then trust me, you're gonna have that tower moment, like the tower card in the tarot, and something's gonna happen where the universe is gonna make a change for you, whether you like it or not. And it says this is a time to try meditating, having honest conversations, or grounding spiritual rituals. In addition to this, the Aries full moon marks a turning point for everyone to take control of their lives and make the necessary changes if they're not fulfilled with some part of their life. Because you know what they say, if there's some part of your life that you don't like, whether it's your job, your weight, your house, whatever the fuck it is, then you've got to make plans and work towards making it. And I mean, making shit better isn't always going to take overnight. You got to make plans. Hmm. So basically, as a human race, we should all take advantage of this moon and use it to reset, reflect, and recommit to the path that we've already chosen, or to start a new one. Furthermore, you may have significant revelations, surprising conclusions, and rapid changes because this full moon is meant to be a wake up call to release what no longer serves your highest good and to pursue the things that do. This moon comes with an energy that's meant to set the tone for the whole season. And that tone is it's fiery, it's courageous, and it demands authenticity and honesty. This isn't the time to cling to the past, especially when it comes to people and things that are toxic and those whom you have outgrown. 8:58 on the timer. Is it sad? Yes, but it's for your own good. Now is the time to face the truth and the new path that lies ahead, even if you're scared. Moreover, I think we all need to be honest with ourselves and admit that the eclipse season was brutal and intense. I mean, seriously, most of you probably thought that you had your shit together, but then a second later, you felt like you were being dragged across the street and wondered what in the hell did you do to make this shit change so dramatically? Well, to answer that question, you need to understand that eclipses are meant to strip away any illusions that we've been living, whether we like it or not. Yes, these eclipses have been nothing short of a pain in the ass. But looking back, it makes us realize that this universe is realigning us with the truth. But now we can take a break because eclipse season is over. Oh, 10:10 on the timer. That talks about a finale. What did I just fucking say, guys? Right here. Now, unfortunately, at this part, pretend like you're kind of in school because this explains a little bit more about the Aries. Yeah. Unfortunately, I sit here a little bit about astrology plays such a big role with the full moon. This moon makes a trine to Vesta, the asteroid of devotion and sacred fire, which reminds us that our inner flame stays alive when we nurture it on a regular basis. So, if you've been feeling unmotivated or disconnected, this lunation calls for an intentional reignition, whether that's making plans for an adventure, taking a class on philosophy, or even laughing out loud at a comedy show. Hmm. What people need to understand is that Aries is not one to tiptoe around things, but instead bursts its way through walls. And sometimes the only way forward is a breakthrough. And that's what this supermoon is going to do. But here's where shit gets interesting. Aries energy can also be raw, impulsive, and combative. That makes it easy for those under this sign to let frustrations boil up and to mistake yelling for power. My dearest Aries, there's no need for such behavior because you don't have to scream to be heard. All you have to do is be assertive with communication, okay? But here's the thing, you need to realize that assertive doesn't mean aggressive. 12:21 on the timer. Assertive doesn't mean aggressive. It means saying what you need with clarity and respect without shrinking or exploding. You all must learn that there's a middle ground between silence and shouting. With that being said, if you notice people around you getting defensive under this super moon, remember this. This is really important right here. Not every reaction deserves a reaction. I'm going to say that again. Not every reaction deserves a reaction. This is an important lesson for Aries to learn because instead of being defensive, you need to learn to pause and think before reacting. And sometimes you have to know when to let things go because it's not worth the time or the energy. On another note, according to Monisha Holmes, another professional astrologist, this Aries supermoon is one of a kind because it's about karma, specifically generational karma. We're supposed to be breaking certain patterns of behavior that we inherited. Like certain family traditions believe that you have to be hyper independent, believing that you have to hustle at work alone, or having the reflexes that make us put up defenses instead of asking for support. Okay, and so especially for those who were born during Aries season or have Aries anywhere in their chart. And if you don't have it in your chart, you could have been raised like this too. But you don't have to constantly be independent like that. There's nothing wrong with being independent, but there's also nothing wrong with asking for help, for fuck's sakes. And it says, and it's well known that Aries population is considered to be the zodiac warrior, but this full moon is asking Aries to be more calm and chill. But more importantly, it wants you to reflect on the difference between fighting for yourself versus fighting with yourself. I'm going to say that again. It wants you to reflect on the difference between fighting for yourself versus fighting with yourself. And fighting with yourself could mean you're fighting with your own thoughts and overthinking. Hmm. Yes, being self sufficient is the noble thing to do, but it's also about giving yourself the permission to say, I don't have to do it all alone. I'll repeat that too. There's nothing wrong with being self sufficient, but there's also nothing wrong with asking for help, but you can't do it all alone. So let me tell you what, for people that are constantly doing shit all by themselves, even when it just makes them overwhelmed because it's not a one man job, it takes more than one person to get that job done. It can lead to a lot of health problems, especially with your heart. I mean, you could give yourself a heart attack from too much stress. I mean, you can get strokes, you can develop high blood pressure, stomach aches from worrying, and, anxiety and panic attacks and shit. At that point, realize when to say, okay, I raise the white flag. I need help. But, hmm. That being said, this harvest supermoon reminds us of the following: independence and self sufficiency are powerful, but they're not about isolation. You can be both strong and supported, fierce and connected. So go and get a journal and write about all the ways that you've had to carry too much all by yourself and the partnerships you're ready to have in your life. If things feel heavy at the moment, don't worry, because this full moon is a turning point where you'll make new allies, collaborations, and relationships that you need for the next chapter of your life. The spiritual meaning of the full moon in Aries. The majority of these changes will be in the realm of relationships, specifically in terms of friendships and romance. You're going to feel the urge to express your feelings, okay? To express your feelings, and you need to do it now while the door is open. Because as of right now, planet Mars is overseeing this lunation and traveling around Scorpio, which means new levels of rapport promised, especially to those who allow themselves to be vulnerable. So basically, I know a lot of people out there, not just Aries, but a lot of the divine masculines out there, you guys don't like to be vulnerable, but this is the time to do it. The door is open now to express how you feel about certain friendships and certain romances, whatever. This is the time to do it. And now, a key takeaway: the moon and fiery and courageous Aries is a great opportunity for us all to get clear on where we're holding ourselves back and how we can step into our power and embrace through autumn and head into spooky season. I thought that was really important and unique, guys. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I know a lot of you guys are scared of a new journey, 2002 on the timer. But I mean, you're gonna have to embrace what is it? Not unknown territory. It's a different path, a different route than what you're used to taking. And yeah, that can be scary as shit. But yeah, you gotta have the courage and the balls to do it because if not, like I said, you're gonna have that tower moment and the universe is gonna do something to make it so, make shit easier on yourself and be bold and assertive, but also, be nice and compassionate with how you communicate certain things to people and about just how you feel. Maybe you have outgrown each other or toxic or, you've lost respect, you know. Keep being your authentic self, regardless of what other people think. Fuck them. Be authentic, be unique, be your goofy self, declutter your shit, start anew. Love y'all. And the next video, I am giving the horoscopes for the fire signs, okay? Which is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So look for that for the next video.